Hey everyone, welcome back to this Zak Invest Explainer. I'm your host, Zak. And today we are breaking down what I consider to be the ultimate financial cheat code. We're talking about the verified, documented mechanics of becoming completely, undeniably financially untouchable, all while looking totally average to the rest of the world. Now, we're constantly fed this idea, especially on social media, that having wealth means you've got to be dripping in designer logos and driving brightly colored sports cars. But today we're going to expose exactly why that's a trap. We're diving into a masterclass in stealth wealth to see what real generational money actually looks like and how the ultra-wealthy completely hide their fortunes from the public.
Okay, to kick things off, I want you to just imagine something for a second. Imagine waking up tomorrow, you check your bank account, and boom, there is $600 million sitting right there. I mean, that is life-altering generational wealth, right? But there's one massive catch to this whole scenario. Nobody can ever know. Not your neighbors, not your friends from college, and absolutely not the internet. You still have to drive the exact same car you have right now. You live in the exact same house. You shop at the exact same grocery store. To the outside world, literally nothing has changed. But beneath the surface, you are a total ghost in the machine of the global economy.
So honestly, could you keep it a secret? Society has heavily conditioned us to believe that the entire point of getting rich is to, well, show it off. We're taught that the goal is to buy the supercar, rent the massive penthouse, flash the designer labels, and immediately post it all online for that sweet, sweet validation. We think that's the prize. But think about it. Why buy a supercar if the true price is actually just peace of mind? What if successfully hiding your wealth is actually the ultimate flex? The reality is people who possess verified, massive net worths are doing the exact opposite of what you're seeing on your feed every day.
Just look at the stark difference between these two worlds. On one side, we've got the fake rich. You know the type. Influencers renting supercars for the day, flashing cash, just constantly chasing social media validation to convince you that they have money. It's exhausting, honestly. But contrast that with the silent rich. Decades of verified sociological research on actual high net worth individuals paints a completely different picture. The silent rich, they drive ordinary domestic vehicles. They wear unbranded clothing. They live in middle-class neighborhoods. They are literally the millionaires next door. And here's the thing, they don't do this because they're stingy. They do it because they understand a fundamental, crucial rule about money psychology.
See, the silent rich understand this really dangerous phenomenon called target fixation. When you signal your wealth to the world, you basically trigger this psychological trap. You instantly become a magnet for every scammer, every charity requester, and suddenly every distant relative with a quote-unquote can't-miss cryptocurrency idea miraculously finds your phone number. But by appearing completely average, the silent millionaire builds this invisible psychological shield around their life. They get to experience the world exactly as it is, retaining genuine relationships because absolutely nobody is trying to get close to them just for their bank account. Anonymity isn't just about privacy, guys, it is the ultimate luxury.
So how do you literally hide a massive fortune from the public eye? The big secret here is legally separating ownership from control using a web of entities. If your name is on the deed to your house or on your brokerage account, you are completely exposed to public records. Take the land trust, for example. When a silent millionaire buys an estate, they don't buy it as John Doe. They use a land trust with a totally generic title, like Oak Street Management. The trust legally owns the property, and public land records only show the trustee, which is usually just an attorney. Then we have the LLC, or limited liability company, used for financial asset protection. Their stock portfolios are private equity stakes. Those aren't in a personal brokerage account, they're held inside a network of LLCs. And finally, the ultimate shield, the master holding trust. This trust actually owns those LLCs, completely shielding the beneficiary.
But here is the real kicker. Where these trusts are established matters big time. Silent millionaires leverage specific privacy-friendly jurisdictions, most notably South Dakota, Nevada, and Wyoming. The state laws in these places are specifically designed to protect the privacy of trust beneficiaries. They literally do not require the public disclosure of who actually benefits from the trust. Think about that. You could have hundreds of millions of dollars invested in the global stock market, but because it's held inside a legally protected trust structure in one of these states, you are completely ghosted from the financial system. You get to just sit back and let your investments compound in total peace.
Let's apply this to real estate, which is famously the most public asset class in the world. How exactly do you go about hiding a mention? Well, here is the step-by-step masterclass. Step 1. You purchase the property using a blind trust or a nominee LLC. The sellers, the neighbors, they have zero idea who's actually buying it. Step 2. Let's say you want to build a massive compound. You definitely don't do it under your own name. You hire a specialized corporate entity to manage all the construction. Step 3, you pull all the permits and pay the contractors exclusively through that management company. So, what do the neighbors actually see? Just a generic construction crew working on an empty lot. They have no idea a multimillionaire is building a hidden fortress right next door. Now yes, this level of legal service costs money, but for them it's a tiny fraction of their wealth that literally buys total peace and quiet. Now, this right here is the financial engine that makes stealth wealth so insanely powerful, and it's a core principle anyone can use to build serious financial freedom. Let's look at the strategy of visible wealth. Spending money on status symbols like supercars that instantly depreciate or massive mansions with huge property taxes and maintenance costs actively destroys your capital. You are literally locking your money in depreciating liabilities just to impress people. But with stealth wealth, because there is zero status signaling costs, you experience zero lifestyle creep. Your capital just remains fully deployed in the market, working for you 24/7. It creates this unstoppable, massive compounding snowball of long-term wealth. To achieve that level of compounding, though, you absolutely have to decouple your net worth from your self-worth. This is a massive money psychology shift. When the silent millionaire's portfolio doubles in value, they don't go out and buy a bigger house to celebrate. They just let the principal compound exponentially in the background while they sleep. The crazy part? The more money they make, the less they actually need to spend to feel secure. And why is that? Because their security comes from their anonymity and their legal structures, not from physical possessions. They just live off a tiny fraction of the yield and let the rest grow.
Look, we live in a highly litigious society, and flashy millionaires are basically walking targets. Plaintiffs know they have the liquidity to pay a massive settlement. But when you apply this stealth wealth system, there is no blood in the water. When an opportunistic lawyer looks up your public records to see if you're worth suing, what do they find? Absolutely nothing. They find a generic trust, an empty LLC, and a modest house. To them, you look completely average. The lawsuit just goes away because there's no blood in the water. Your legal structures have made you virtually judgment-proof in the eyes of the public. You have successfully built a financial fortress that is completely invisible to the enemy.
Now, you might be thinking this is only for the ultra-rich, but you do not need hundreds of millions of dollars to use this framework. You can start building your invisible fortress right now. Here is your actionable 3-step blueprint. Step 1. Stop spending money on status signals and depreciating liabilities. Just stop trying to impress strangers. Every dollar you save by not flashing your wealth is a dollar that goes straight into your compounding machine. Step 2. Start researching privacy structures. As your wealth grows, look into land trusts for your primary residence and LLCs for your investments. Get to know your specific state's privacy laws. You don't need to be a billionaire to value and protect your privacy. And Step 3. Embrace the profound psychological freedom of being unknown. There is a quiet, amazing joy in walking down the street knowing you are financially free, without ever having to perform your wealth for anyone. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses because the Joneses have absolutely no idea who you really are.
I really want to leave you with this final, powerful thought from our explainer today. The fake rich want everyone to know how much money they have. The silent rich just want to be left alone to let their money grow. Stealth wealth isn't about hiding because you're ashamed. It is about valuing your peace, your privacy, and your financial security way above the cheap validation of the masses. It's time to stop playing the status game. Build your legal fortress, deploy your capital in the shadows, and embrace the ultimate luxury of being undeniably unknown. So ask yourself this: are you building wealth to impress strangers, or are you building it to buy your freedom? If you want to keep building that long-term wealth, make sure to subscribe to Zak Invest. Hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next explainer.